Detroit Pistons were going after Trey Murphy all year. We know the Indiana Pacers was one of the teams that had interest. Not sure who else, had interest. Yeah, but the Indiana Pacers was one of those teams that had interest. And sorry, this guy is just like scared to drive by next to the semi truck, bro. Like, come on, you can't be driving like you scared, bro. That's how accidents happen. Like, speed up and bypass it. You feel me? But yeah, apparently in a report I seen that the Pelicans never attended to trade Trey Murphy. So I tried to find it and put on. They said they never attended to, and put on the screen, they never intended to trade the man. And it's like, okay, was that the case? And Indiana figured out, and they was on some bullshit because they wanted to, I think he wanted out of New Orleans. But then they still control him for the next 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And he probably like, okay, where I fit down here, it's a bunch of guards, it's a bunch of forwards, bunch of wings. And they said they never intended to trade him. And then you have fans in general saying the Pelicans basically want to gatekeep some of their players. I'm paraphrasing, gatekeep their players, and they're going to win 20-some games next year. And it's like, cool. But then it's a conspiracy theory in which Troy Weaver got an issue with the Pistons, feel like he didn't get a fair shake because he couldn't pick his coach. Joe Dumars still got issues with Tom Gores. He got fired. A lot of people say, homie should have been fired for not taking Carmelo Anthony. But at the end of the day, we don't know the integral parts of those relationships and day-to-day relations. We only can go by what we see. And I noticed that kind of hearing somebody's side of the story and then, hearing the other side of the story, just in general. So maybe they never intended to trade him because he wanted out and you just signed a contract. But also some people just gonna say Troy got an issue with Detroit and Joe got an issue in Detroit. And that issue with Detroit is the reason why they didn't trade him. And do people hold grudges in business? Yes. Sometimes a personal beef between two people is more important than the business. Sometimes it's hard for people to put the business to the left and put the issues to the left and work business. But that's what made great businessmen. It's a lot of great men or women and men that's great at business that I'll tell you, bro. That do deals with they damn near mortal enemies. They Sub-Zero and Scorpion, they sit to make a deal. But to me, all of a sudden said we never was gonna trade him. Was it the fact? I think it's more about Trey Murphy wanting to get up out of there. I think it's more about Trey Murphy wanting to get the hell up out of there than it was about the issues with the Detroit Pistons, because the Pelicans was like, yo, we out of here. Y'all bullshit. Not the Pelicans, but the Pacers was like, y'all bullshitting. Y'all bullshitting like a motherfucker. So we gonna get up out of there, and the Pistons probably wasted their time, and we won 4 first. First report, they won 3 first round. Then they won 4. Then they moved. It's like, okay, bro. Then it's like, okay. It's like, okay. We feel you. We smell you. In my Rollo voice, we smell you. Y'all bull. I think it was more about acting like they was trading him, and Trey Murphy think he was gonna get out of there. And they're like, nah, we ain't trading Zion. We ain't trading you. We gonna show you who boss. But as far as them gatekeeping talent, I mean, the thing about it is you need something that's gonna bring it all together. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's a point guard like Jason Kidd, I don't know what they doing down there. I don't know what they doing. They holding on to Zion, hoping something magnificent happen. It ain't happened yet. They holding on to all those different pieces, bunch of guards, and they just collecting talent. And maybe they got a plan, but I think it's not about it wasn't about Detroit. I think the issue was about I think they bigger issue was about Trey Murphy and basically keeping him. Act like we gonna search, we gonna try to trade you, but they had no intentions on trading him. And it's like, we trading you for, no, they wanted, a superstar that can help. Remember that? A player that can help them now. We not into develop players. We don't want draft picks. Then it went to they want 3 draft picks. Then it came out that they wanted 4 draft picks. Now they looking to get 3. It was all smoke and mirrors. Okay, motherfucker. Bro, I got caught by the train 2 times this week at 2 different times. And then I got caught behind this trailer and shit. And I tell you, I know it's tough driving a fucking trailer, trusting a trailer and a truck, but man, oh man. So, no, but in general, I mean, yeah, with Trey, I mean, I just think the whole thing was to act like we trading you and your ass gonna be here in New Orleans, and that's it. Y'all can say they gatekeeping talent or they don't want to trade. No, they gonna lose. Hey man, they got a plan. Trey, Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, they got a plan. I don't think it had nothing to do about doing business with Detroit. I think the Pacers seen they was on some bullshit. They was like, "Oh, we out. We can't waste our time with this, dog. Y'all not serious." I think it was more about Trey than it was about the Pacers or the Pistons or anything else. You signed a contract to be here. Are you going to abide by that contract? Will the Pelicans win? I doubt it. They need a veteran point guard to come in there and really help them operate on the scale they need to operate on. Somebody that can stabilize that, learn to play point guard. Please be patient, student driver. Fuck. I tell you, bro, I get behind these people. He could have made a left 10 years ago. He right here on this left turn. You supposed to pull up to this light and bust this left. But he won't bust the left. Who be patient. I don't have no patience for no kid to be driving. Get out there and drive your car. Come on, brother. You done passed up 10 turns to make a left turn. Come on. You talking about be patient, bro. Come on. Jeez, my bad. It wasn't even a student. And then the student driver, it wasn't even a student driver, it was the BMW in front. The student driver is in the wrong lane, bro. This is a left only and you go straight. Bad instructor. I know y'all like, oh, stall him out. This is kind of why I want to move back to the city. I hate the suburban drivers, bro. The deeper you go into the suburbs, the more these mofos can't drive. I promise you that. Somebody got a nice ass Corvette in the back of this house. That boy nice. I'm in a Camaro. That boy nice. But the deeper you go out here, they can't drive, bro. And, you know, at the end of the day, if Detroit didn't have crime, the best thing about living in the suburbs, you was wrong. You and that wagon there was wrong. The best thing about living in the suburbs, for real, is the insurance rates. That's the only thing, is the insurance. Because the insurance, it's based on the crime in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all don't vote or nothing like that. Don't vote your people. It's based on the crime. You know, and they try to throw credit score in there and all. That's some bullshit. But it's based on a crime. Because out here, they can't drive, bro. But I appreciate y'all. Thumbs up the video. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.